It's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room, I realized it's all my fault but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
And welcome back to part 2 of the Matt and Melissa experiment, the Melmat monster, if you will.
We're renaming it every single podcast.
Well, this is just part 2 of number 25, so we're still on number 25.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the year 2007, and we can jump right in. We don't got any addendums that need to be discussed, so hopefully I remember things that I wanted to talk about that we mentioned in 2006. But 2007 was a pretty big year for us also, Melly, if that is your real name. The year 2007, our first few months in the apartment are now over with, and we're in the year 2007, and you've got a DS now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm on that constantly.
I don't know if you're on it constantly. All you had was Bust-A-Move and Nintendog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the new Super Mario Brothers game, which we liked playing a lot.
Well, the Nintendog was a beast because I was on that like constantly until I hit a dead end, and then I'm like, fuck this thing.
I forgot what else I got you for that. I think just the new Super Mario Brothers, Bust-A-Move, and Nintendog. I guess it was just a regular start of the year. We were just working, seeing Bob and Marge every Sunday. We weren't going to school. You weren't going to school. We didn't do that until 2008. So that's not for another year and a half. Why are you muffled sometimes and not muffled other times?
Is it because I'm shoving food in my face?
Well, don't do that.
I'm almost done.
Well,
I'm eating some vermicelli rice Pakistani dessert thing.
It sounds disgusting.
You would hate it.
Probably.
I'm small.
I can't even tell what you're saying.
Okay.
So I'll just start talking since obviously you have checked out of this conversation.
No, I haven't.
There's not a lot that goes on at the beginning of the year, except I decided to switch over from my position at JCPenney's as a special orders customer service representative to becoming an order filler and working with you.
And that was a big surprise.
You know what? I think we did find the comic book shop in 2006.
Why?
Because I remember... No, never mind. I'm wrong. Yeah, no, that didn't happen in 2006.
Okay, so you moved on from customer service to an order filler.
So I start... Yes, exactly. So I can be with you. And we were only working together for a couple of weeks before they laid you off temporarily. And then 4 weeks later they brought you back and you were in another position. You were working in ME.
So during that time, during that 4 weeks, what happened?
You chose that time to write the most awesome movie ever written, Until Street Meets Pavement. Comes out in August.
You know how much it pains me to hear you say that?
I kind of feel like killing myself for saying it, but so let me wax a little bit on the subject that is Dread and Terror in Salt Lake City. So Melissa was laid off, and this seems to be what she does when she gets laid off, is she'll sit down and she'll write a masterpiece. I wish she would get laid off more often if that were the case. So
it might be happening soon, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Are things bad at work?
Yeah, Yeah, well, they're transitioning to a third party, and they're kind of edging us out. And, I don't think I have enough seniority. So
Oh, well, what are you gonna do? You gonna come back home?
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
That's for another podcast. That's for the 2013 future podcast.
It'll be 2014 by then.
Right.
So Melissa sat down and she got the idea because, I don't know, she's dicking around on the internet looking at porn or something, and then
Yep.
she saw this little thing, put your name in, and they'll tell you what the story of your life is going to be, and it said Dread and Terror in Salt Lake City, directed by Quentin Tarantino. And from that just captured the fuck out of her imagination, and she just got this idea of like two Mormons going door to door killing people. And did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
And she decided to sit down and write that movie as a cheese movie, and like I was like, you can throw Jones in there, and it can be a buddy cop movie, and all these things. And she sat down and she wrote Dread and Terror in Salt Lake City, and it.
Just fucking like, how long did that take me to write it?
I don't remember how long it took you to write that one. I remember how long it took you to write Patriot Zombie, but that one I'm not sure.
I know it wasn't very long because once I got started, I was working on it every day, every single day.
Yeah. And then they hired you back, and you were done with the script, and we started filming it.
Yep.
So Dread and Terror in Salt Lake City, for those of you who haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it, how dare you?
Why are you even listening to this podcast?
Go fucking watch it right now.
Go fucking watch the movie.
It's this amazing, eclectic film of all things that are awesome. It's a movie about these two guys, and they're Mormons, and they go door to door and they kill people and they rob them, and that's how they stay afloat. One of them's really uptight and the other one's not so much. And then they happen to kill this woman's mom, and she goes out on this, air quotes, streak of revenge, as the line is said in the movie. And then the two cops that are investigating these murders are also on the lookout for them, and you know, there's some bumbling things going on, and some murders going on, and some car chases. Well, no car chases.
No car chases.
But foot races. No car chases, but foot races. And we film at the bar, and we got my friend Corey, who, you know, is like the one person in the canon of Sequel Films Productions to be in a movie like randomly. Until Street Meets Pavement. But every movie since every movie has had new people in it. So, you know, like Patriot Zombie, we got Dakota, and we got Jeff, and we got AJ, and we got Jeannie. So there's just a bunch of new people in that. Street Meets Pavement's got a shit ton of new people, and you know, Dutch didn't have any new people. But yeah, Dread and Terror, I love watching the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. I should watch it again, but it's just a movie that makes me feel good, you know, because we hadn't made a movie in so goddamn fucking long. And, you know, right at this time, because we got a computer. That's why you were able to do it, is because we had just got a computer. We got our tax return back, and with that money, we bought a computer. And I took Crime America, and I took that footage, and I edited it into the movie that I wanted it to be, and we held a premiere at Molly's house with everybody that was still around who was in it, and that was the first official premiere fucking a year after the fact.
Yeah.
That happened.
It was kind of cool that we went back and did that. I think that was a nice feeling.
Yes.
To be able to complete it, because it did kind of complete it, you know. I think it just felt heavy on our minds and in our hearts for so long, and to be able to put it together and show it to everybody, it's like, yeah, we did this for a reason.
Definitely. And yeah, exactly. Like that's the whole thing, is we did do this for a reason. Every time we make a movie, you know, you need that there to be like, we did do this for a reason. You know, we weren't just fucking jerking each other off. You know, this was
unfortunately.
This was meant to be something. So, so that was that, and that kind of that flowed our juices for Dread and Terror, and I'll go over the experience of filming Dread and Terror. Like, we made the movie, we handed out the scripts originally. So it was TJ was going to be in it, me and Patrick were going to be in it, and we got Casey and Allie to be in it. We didn't know who was going to play Ty's role of. What are the Mormons' names in that movie? Phil and Collins?
Dan.
Dan and what?
With a name that ends in B.
Is it?
Ted or something? It's not Ted, but Jimmy.
Jimmy and Dan! Jimmy and Dan! That's right, it's Jimmy and Dan. And who's Jimmy?
Jimmy is TJ.
Alright, so we didn't know who was going to play Dan, and we were like, I think we had it in our mind that we wanted to get Kanan to play Dan, if I remember correctly, and he was up for it, but we couldn't get a hold of him. And
yeah, I remember that. I remember that because I saw him in 20th Century. I saw him in one play, and I was just like, he is awesome. He's fantastic. We need to get him in a play.
Probably Seven Keys, the Bald Pate. Do you think it was Seven Keys, the Bald Pate?
Okay, yeah, I think it was. I think it was because that was that year, right?
Or Rumors, maybe. Seven Keys to Baldpate was the fall play in 2006. And I'm not... Oh, Room Service.
It was Room Service. It was Room Service, yeah. Yeah, and I was just like, he's so good. He's so good. We need to put him in a movie.
But seemed like it was below him.
Yeah. Which, what the fuck is he doing now?
Yeah, exactly. And so then, like, I was on the phone, I was calling up Casey Burke. And at the same time, live and in person, I believe we had TJ, Molly, and Casey and Allie here, and they're like, why not just get Ty to do it? And
okay, hang on. So let's go back to Casey Burke. What was that line from Dracula?
With what malice do you lure the living to your purpose?
That was Casey Burke. Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. And, he picks up and answers, and I was like, oh, never mind, and hung up on him. Because we got Ty to be in it. And so we had the movie cast, and Mac and Sam were in it, and Corey and Olivia were in it. And as soon as Olivia jumped on board, you went ahead and wrote extra footage for her for the movie. Both her and Corey, you went and wrote that extra scene where they're just talking to each other at the bar.
Because originally, they were such small roles. Like, I feel like especially Corey's role. It was just a tiny little role. And then, he was one of the people that I kind of idolized in drama. He was in your same group. And I'm like, we cannot put Corey in this movie and have him have 2-3 lines. We need to have a scene with Corey. And then, same with Olivia. Because Olivia always goes into it with such, motivation and with enthusiasm, and positivity, and like to have her play such a small role, to not give her more to work with, it would just be a crime. So I was like, okay, I gotta write more.
And you did.
I did.
And the filming happened in this way that, like, we're not doing anything. Patrick, are you doing anything? Let's film. And we ran over to his place, and we shot that scene with me and him, just cussing each other out, doing the whole silver, blue, and gold scene, and him getting drunk and everything, and we just filmed.
That was a great scene. Just the whole sequence, I think, is fantastic.
And we filmed all that right on the spot, and from there, it was just, filming when we can, weekends, right after work with Ty and TJ. As soon as we got off work, we got those guys over, filmed them waking up, getting ready for the day, ran up to McDonald's, got some food, ran up to the park, and filmed that scene with them, and we just...
It was easy.
It was.
It was so...
Yes. And we bought a bunch of guns for the movie.
Yeah.
And
Like airsoft guns.
Yep,
Right?
yep. A bunch of airsoft guns. And we bought the shotgun, which I'm pretty sure AJ has. I don't know whatever happened to that gun. Yeah, so we shot the movie. We borrowed an axe from Bob to put in the movie. And there's a reference to another film in this movie that you wrote in there. Do you remember what it is?
I don't think I do.
There's a reference to Lady Vengeance in this film.
Really?
Because Allie's putting on the lipstick.
Aha! Yeah, that's right. That's where I got that from. I remember.
Because Casey's like, why are you putting on the lipstick? And she's like, it gives me
So
character. Can I come? And you know, it was I remember the last day that we filmed, it was the bar, and we went down to the bar and we shot all the bar stuff and we got that out of the way, and then I was like, we only have this one last scene with Casey and Allie left. Let's call them up and see if they can film it, and then the movie's done. Because essentially one of the first things that we shot in the movie was the end of the movie with the chase scene. That was one of the first things that we shot.
Yeah.
And you know,
And that was a lot of fun.
it was
The chase scene.
definitely. And you know what? We get that same feel in the Street Meets Pavement chasing too.
Right.
And you know, I was like, I wanted to film our chase scene for Street Meets Pavement early on, because everyone's still fresh and has their energy and they're excited, but it didn't happen that way. So all the actiony stuff is like the last 2 days of filming.
Yikes.
But it's still awesome.
Good.
So yeah, that was filming. There wasn't too much. No cops showed up anywhere. There was no hassle, I don't think. It was pretty much
just, everything worked out so well because the filming, I had a good idea in my mind before we went out there of what I wanted it to look like, what I wanted them to say, and how I wanted them to say it. I think we were flexible with our locations. If we weren't able to get one location, we're like, okay, well, we'll just do this instead.
Sounds like every movie.
Everyone was so dependable and right there on top of it. It was the easiest filming, even easier than Crime and Life.
Definitely a shit ton easier. Less actors, less locations, less scripts, less egos.
Yeah.
It was essentially 3 buddy movies slapped into one movie, because it's 3 separate groups of 2, and they're all doing their own thing, and then they all meet in the end and rock it essentially.
Yep.
And then so that was the big part of the early part of the year, and back then as spring rolled by and summer started up, we actually started to hang out with Mac and Sam a lot, and that relationship started to fizzle, so we lost that couple.
I don't know if it ever really ignited.
Yeah, it was really weird and awkward because Sam was super young and immature, and Mac was the same way, and they had a kid that they probably had no right in raising.
And I just remember inviting them over to dinner, and it was always it was awkward. It was always so awkward.
Yeah, I think they were both fucking picky eaters.
Yeah, they were. So did we have a premiere for Dread and Terror?
Yeah, actually, we did. We had a premiere for Dread and Terror, and it was at Patrick's house, and everyone came over that was in the movie, and it was during the day, and we just sat around and we watched the movie and we watched the gag reel and we just had a lot of fun. This is what I remember. This is where the problems came in with Dread and Terror. We were up all night trying to edit it, and footage was not cutting together correctly because of sound problems or just different things were going on in this take than in the take we're trying to cut it up against, and it wasn't matching. And then out of nowhere, suddenly there's hot air pumping through our air conditioning, and Melissa was getting freaked out because it's a movie about Mormons, and it's like, is hell coming to get us? Because it just started getting really super hot, and we'd been up all night, and it's like, I was like, no, the AC broke. We need to go to bed and come back to this in the morning with fresh minds.
I was literally like terrified that something like outside of us was like happening. You know, that it was a sign. The apartment was gonna catch on fire.
And we were able to come back the next day and the next morning and finish the movie, and we edited it all together, and it looked good. And we showed it at the premiere. I think the premiere was actually the same day that it was either the premiere or my birthday, but it was that same day that I showed Pink Flamingos to Mac. Me and Patrick tried to show Pink Flamingos to Mac, and he wasn't having it.
Yeah.
We also filmed some trailers too. We filmed the Incredibly Gay Adventures of Emo Boy.
Yeah. That was Max.
That was Mac's movie. We filmed the what was that Crime America 2 movie that he did where he was Freddy?
Kill Freddy, wasn't it?
Kill Billy.
Kill Billy.
Kill Billy.
Kill Billy.
And then I did the Coked trailer, and Patrick did the Monday Morning Muff trailer.
So I think the Cokes trailer came from, you were like, we can do all of this stuff. We can do like split screen, we can do like slow motion, because that was something.
The editing tricks.
What's that?
The editing tricks.
Yeah, the editing tricks. Well, like the slow motion was something that I was like, oh shit, we can do slow motion. I want to do slow motion in Dread and Terror. So that was the big thing for me, is doing slow motion for the first time. With Coach, that trailer, you were like, let's do all the shit that we can. That was kind of like showing it off.
Yep.
And then Monday Morning Muff was fucked up, and that was Mac and Olivia and Patrick going up on Peavine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just fucking letting loose with Mac and his tighty whities.
And sandals, the dick sucking sandals that Patrick has.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, that got like the most YouTube hits.
That one or Fresh Meat? I'd have to go back and look.
Well, it was Monday Morning Muff because of
the muff in the title,
yeah,
right?
because everyone was fucking searching that, so you got a ton of YouTube hits.
And so we had those trailers, and we had a gag reel, and the premiere went off well without a hitch, I'm pretty sure. And
yeah, everyone loved the gag reel. They thought it was so fucking funny.
And in between that and working, we were also going down to O'Brien Middle School a lot and playing tennis.
Yes, you were.
And we would do night tennis. We would soak the tennis ball in glow stick. We'd crack open some glow sticks and soak the tennis ball and play night tennis. And
didn't we play a couple with Patrick?
Yeah, and Patrick would go boom, boom, and easy cheesy, boom.
I remember that.
Loosey goosey.
Loosey goosey.
They've got it fenced off now. Can't get in there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's a bummer. 'Cause that was awesome. That was really cool going down and playing tennis down.
And we did one day where we had everybody together and we were just playing tennis or throwing around a football or kicking a soccer ball. We might have hit a couple of softballs too, I think. But we did that a lot at the beginning of the summer. And then also, Molly's neighborhood was having a communal yard sale. So it was going to be in the newspapers and everything, and people would go house to house with these yard sales. And so TJ and Molly, Casey and Allie were doing it, and then they invited us along, and we brought some stuff to sell too, and we made the most money out of everybody there.
We brought just like random shit, right? Like this shit that Bob and Marge.
Yeah, Marge, we told them about it, and they just gave us a bunch of shit that they didn't need, and we just took it and sold all that, and we made about $100, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they were talking about going to Disneyland with the money that they made, and they invited us along. TJ and Molly invited us along, and then I believe Allie made a snide comment about like can't invite anyone else from here on
Right.
out or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, shit. Should we not go? But they planned on going to Ozfest, which was free that year, and then going to Disneyland, or going to Medieval Times and then going to Disneyland. And that was the big plan from there on out, from the beginning of the summer till about mid-July. And you know, we were skipping like major holidays, like our anniversary in 2006 and our anniversary here in 2007, as well as our first Valentine's Day in 2006 that we had.
Yeah, we did skip those, didn't we?
Our first Valentine's Day, we went to eat at the
Bonanza.
not the Bonanza. I could have sworn our first one was at the place where we always went with Bob and Marge.
Rail City.
Rail City.
Okay. Oh, okay. When was it that I remember taking the bus to the Bonanza for something. It was either an anniversary.
That was our anniversary. The Bonanza was our anniversary.
Okay, so Rail City for Valentine's Day.
Because we didn't have any money, and we went there, and it was super expensive for the buffet, so we got burgers.
Okay.
And it was lackluster, but you know, whatever.
Real.
And then we went to the Bonanza. We might have even seen Slither that day too. I know we took the bus to go see Slither. That was like the only movie that we took the bus to go see. In 2006, and yeah, so we went to the Bonanza. What was it called? The Cactus Creek Grill.
Yeah.
And you got the hamburger meat.
The Kobe beef.
I'm sorry, the Kobe beef. Kobe lobster fed Kobe beef.
Which actually, it turned out to be just like, it really was just ground beef, like a hamburger patty, and I was like, what the fuck? And you got lamb, right? Was it
Duck.
lamb?
I got duck.
Duck.
And they dropped it. They dropped it in the kitchen, and it took us forever to get food because of that. But they gave us a free dessert.
That's right. What did we have for dessert?
There's probably like a tuxedo cake or something.
Yes, it was. Gosh, good job. Dang.
Well, it's me, a man,
Matt Bonta.
who are better than women at everything.
No, that's inaccurate.
So we did that, and then when we got back, we went and had sex at O'Brien Middle School.
Oh boy. On the grass.
On the grass, and I think I got bit by something out there too.
You were being a little baby.
I had like a bug bite, multiple probably. But that was our Valentine's Day and anniversary for the year 2006.
Yeah.
Back to year 2007 for Valentine's Day in 2007. I think it was P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
We went to P.F. Chang's that year, I believe. Yep, actually, I'm pretty sure it was. No.
Was it La Strada?
Yes. La Strada was, yes, it was La Strada. La Strada was Valentine's Day 2007. P.F. Chang's was 2008.
Okay.
We went to La Strada, and Jeff and Brianna were working.
Yes.
Schoolmates of mine. And that was like $100 meal. And then our anniversary in 2007. Whew. I don't remember. Do you?
Either. No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what we did for our anniversary that year. But we might have just put it off and saved our money for Disneyland. I doubt it, because that seems a little early, but...
Yeah, and we always celebrated anniversaries. 2007, what were we doing in May of 2007?
The movie? Dread and Terror? I don't... Sorry,
Bad time to choke.
I know. I'm just trying to drink some stuff, and it got caught in my throat. Down the wrong pipe, as it were.
When are you not drinking?
I don't know. Let me do this real quick. All right, so all right, so I've got the pictures up right now,
Okay.
and they're by date. So
Oh, perfect. That's good. I was gonna do that.
but January, February, March, April, May. So here's a picture from 5/17, but it's just you and me. Who's to say what we're fucking doing? There's just a picture of you and me.
What are we doing?
It's just like a picture of your face or my face. But if if I go to the movie photos and go to Dread and Terror, they might be a little bit closer to the date. So yeah, look, here's a picture of Ty and TJ at Patrick's house on 5/23, 7 days before our anniversary. So we were making the movie on our anniversary, most likely.
I feel like we're unraveling a mystery. Clearly, we see this photo taken on 5/23.
Yeah, it was the day that we shot Patrick and TJ, or TJ and Ty, knocking on Patrick's door, asking him if he wants to learn about Mormonism.
Oh, that's what we did for our anniversary?
Well, no, that's what we were doing on 5/23.
Oh, 5/23, okay.
So 7 days later, like the next week, our anniversary came up. We were probably filming, or in the middle of making a movie around that time. We probably didn't do anything.
We didn't go up to Tahoe, or...
I can't remember for the life of me. There's no pictures of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that anniversary is out of memory.
Yeah. So, from there, we're trying to go to Disneyland, and 4th of July we actually did do something. We were with 4th of July was when we showed Mac Pink Flamingos, and he hated it. He thought it was disgusting. He couldn't stand it. But we were fighting back and forth with everybody on what we were supposed to do on the 4th of July, because Mac and Sam had an idea, and Patrick and had an idea, and we ended up going to Patrick and Eric's mom's friend's house.
Right, up on the hill.
Up on the hill, and watched the fireworks with all of them, and it was just kind of awkward. And
we might get to it, but didn't we go one year? We went with Patrick, and we parked up on this hill, and we just sat there and we watched fireworks.
I'm not sure which year that was. That might have been 2006.
It might have been. Oh, and a little note. I remember going to Wingfield Park and seeing Treasure of the Sierra Madre with you and Eric.
That was in 2005.
Yeah, that was. We just didn't mention it, but I remember that. So.
And I showed you Fight Club for the first time in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry,
and we didn't talk about Halloween of 2006.
What did we do for Halloween of 2006?
We were dressed up as Two-Face and Poison Ivy.
Oh, that was that year.
You dyed your hair red, and you painted your face green, and you went as the Hulk.
So crazy offensive.
Yeah, no, Ty and TJ had a party. Althmentis were playing, and we were over there while they were playing. And Heather asked Melissa if she was the Hulk. And TJ was like, She-Hulk. She-Hulk's hot, so she can be She-Hulk, but no, she's Poison Ivy.
I'm like, you're only saying She-Hulk because I'm bigger than most women.
She-Hulk's hot, Melissa. And you're hot, too.
She-Hulk is hot in a, humongous kind of way. Like, Big Barda's hot.
Big Barda is hot.
Okay.
You're an Amazon.
Not as hot as, Power Girl.
Well, no. But she's just like them.
Nope.
Power Girl is considered amongst the top 5 hottest DC female characters of all time.
I know. And I
Okay.
don't look a thing like them.
Can you name the other 4?
The top 5 hottest DC characters?
Yes.
Okay, there's Power Girl. Catwoman's got to be on.
Yep, Catwoman.
Poison Ivy?
Nope.
What? She's fucking sexy.
But
It's
she's
all-
not amongst the top 5.
Okay, is it Supergirl?
Nope.
Fire?
Fire? No.
Fire Knight.
You're close, though. Alright, so I'll just say it since you're taking forever just thinking. You've got Black Canary, Wonder Woman, and Starfire.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think so.
Okay, Starfire, yes.
Okay.
Wonder Woman, no.
She is...
Black Canary, no.
Well, you're a bitch.
What were you going to say about Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman is the queen of the Amazons.
Doesn't mean she's sexy. She's not sexier than Poison Ivy.
She was created, and that's, well, it's all subjective if you want to get about it like that,
No.
motherfucker.
It's objective,
Whatever.
because you're an object. And these are
Conjecture.
women who are objects to be ogled.
Ryan treated me as an object. Alright, so that was Halloween, and then we also went out on the actual date of Halloween and went
And
to a couple of casinos to try and win a costume contest, and we went trick-or-treating, and then went home.
And we didn't win any costume contests, which was bullshit, because you made your costume, and it was so awesome.
Yeah, they gave it to some stupid nothing of a costume.
Yeah, we were totally.
Okay, so now back to the year 2007. Yeah.
Yes.
So, our friendship dissolved with Mac and Sam and Patrick because they. This comes a little bit later. So, okay, so first we went camping with Patrick and his dad
Cool.
sometime after July 4th, and we had an awesome time. It was a three-day weekend, right?
Yeah, think of it.
And we went camping and.
And we didn't even do much. Like, I don't have a lot of memories of that camping trip because I think most of the time we were just, like, sitting around. Like,
Well,
there was one time a couple times we went down to the beach and it was all, like, gross.
yeah, and then we
Get
drove
in
all the
and
way.
you're all, like,
We
up to
drove
your
all the
knees
way
and
around
out.
to the other the Forbidden Zone area,
Yeah.
and we also went up to the little market to get ice and stuff, I believe, and tried to call Mac, who flaked on going. He was supposed to go, and we slept.
Sat around.
We sat around,
It's-
played Sorry.
Sorry!
That was Melissa's imitation of Patrick's dad. Every time we sorried somebody, he would say that. He had had a few beers. Yeah, no, it's mostly just kind of like a hangout time. We just hung out, went camping. And then the next week, Melissa decided she wanted to get her wisdom teeth taken out. Right?
Yeah. Because they had been bothering me.
So she got a credit card, paid to get her wisdom teeth out, like $1,000 almost. And
More than 1,000.
it was $800.
Was it?
Yes. So she went and got her wisdom teeth out, and this is like the Friday before the Monday that we were going to see Ozfest. So Melissa got her wisdom teeth out, and then I had Patrick drive me to go buy her. I bought her a blender so that she can have milkshakes. And I also bought her Pokemon Diamond. Are you going to talk at all?
I am! I'm talking so much!
So yeah.
I'm talking so much, but every time I talk, you ignore me.
No, I don't ignore you at all. Pokemon Diamond, and I bought her the blender, and she didn't want anything at all. I tried to make her milkshakes, but she didn't want any fucking milkshakes. She didn't want to eat anything. She was being very stubborn and stupid.
I was in a lot of pain, and my whole mouth kind of felt violated, and so I didn't really want to put anything in it. And beyond that, like, the dentist didn't teach me how to clean out the holes in the back. So they're supposed to give you this little squirt bottle, and you're supposed to clean out the holes that they left. Well, my dentist fucking sucked, and he didn't tell me any of that. I don't think he even gave me a squirt bottle. And so, like,
The
I was
Aquajet?
in a lot of pain, and it was just like it was getting just disgusting back there, and I didn't want to eat anything, and I was on Vicodin again, because I got some from Molly's mom, I think.
But that's not until after we go to Disneyland.
No, that was before. That was right before I got some.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive because we were over at her place, and then she like, just take this if you need more.
No,
So.
because this is after.
But I was on Vicodin at Ozfest.
Yeah,
I remember
because
that.
they gave you Vicodin at the dentist.
Okay.
And then Molly's... Okay.
Okay, so I was still on the dentist Vicodin. All right.
Yes. So you're all fucked up, and I bought Ace Ventura because you hadn't seen those movies, or at least you hadn't really seen those movies. And I was like, okay, something funny, and like, it's not a diamond, but it's Pokemon Diamond for you to play on the trip and everything. And so I got you all that, and then we wound up getting me a DS and Pokemon Pearl so that we were able to play together for the first time. And then from there, on Monday, we went down to Ozfest. We drove to Sacramento, and we saw Ozfest, and we hung out there all day, and that was the first time that we had Monster, and I'm still addicted to that shit. And Melissa was...
Why was that the first time we had Monster?
Because we didn't drink energy drinks.
Well, no, I mean, they were giving it away for free at Ozfest.
Yes, because
so,
Monster was sponsoring Ozfest, and that you could go over there and just get free Monster whenever you wanted. And so we did.
Yeah.
And Melissa...
So I was on Vicodin, I wasn't eating anything, and I was fucking drinking Monster. So, that was probably the closest I've ever been to high.
I'm surprised you're still alive.
Me too. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, and like, I wanted to go see the freak show that they had there, but I didn't. And we were just kind of hanging around, walking around all day until the main stage started. And they play, the main stage was Lordy, and it was kind of like Gwar meets Lord of the Rings. And they had the one song, Bringing Back the Balls to Rock, which was pretty good. And then Static X played, and I love Static X. And there might have been another band, and then the final band was Lamb of God, and they weren't that good at all. Wasn't a big fan of Lamb of God. And then Ozzy came out, and he played, had this awesome video that they played of him kind of like spoofing all the current movies, and then he came out and he played, and it was awesome listening to Ozzy play. I honestly don't really remember it, like, because I know those songs already, but I can't remember what songs he played, or if they were awesomer than actually just listening to an Ozzy song. But
all I remember about watching him is he looked like he was about ready to fall over, and he just like, and he was just like rocking back and forth, like very, very weakly.
At one point, Zakk Wylde started to do this like 20-minute guitar riff so Ozzy can go like backstage and take a rest. And then we left and we went back to Casey's aunt's house, and everyone crashed there. And then from there we went to the airport, flew down to California, checked into the Desert Palms, and went to Medieval Times, and it was essentially $60 for a potato, a chicken wing, and one refill of Pepsi. And a show where Red and Yellow lost. Red and Yellow was our guy.
Yeah.
And we pranked TJ and Molly. We told them it was their 50th anniversary. So when they read out all the anniversaries, the guy was like, and TJ and Molly hunt their 50th anniversary. They haven't talked to each other in 49 or something like that.
Didn't we get their picture taken for it or something?
They might have gotten their picture taken. I'm not sure though. We definitely took their picture. I think we got some pictures of Medieval Times, and I know we got pictures of Disneyland. So that was the Thursday night, or that was the Wednesday night. Was Medieval Times. We bought a mug, a souvenir mug, and
Still
then
have
I still got it. I could put it out now because I got bookshelves to put stuff on. And then there's Disneyland, and essentially Disneyland was the first time for me since I was like 6 years old and couldn't remember anything. And we did the 2-day park hopper for California Adventure in Disneyland, and I had a blast. And what was the very interesting thing that happened during this trip, Melissa?
this was the big shift in dynamics, friendship dynamics. We went kind of feeling like the third wheel couple because it was so like TJ and Molly and Casey and Allie. And then what happened is you and me and Casey and Allie started bonding, and TJ and Molly were off kind of doing their own thing and like not meeting up with us and not meeting the schedule, and so we became like best friends with Casey and Allie.
And it turns out that like kind of those two couples were kind of starting to have a falling out around that time also.
Yeah, so it was great timing.
Great time for us to pick up the pieces in the rebound relationship couple.
We were the rebound friendship.
And then Disneyland was over, and we just went back to work and did our thing, and we were able to see Superbad like a month early with some premiere screening tickets at Sierra Summit.
That Allie got, right? Did Allie
Patrick
get
got those.
Okay.
And then fucking Casey and Allie eventually got to see it when it came out, and that was like the big movie of the summer. That was the sleeper hit of the summer that year. And then it gets to August, and I decided I want to, I was like, Patrick, we should remake Thick Crust. And I wrote a Thick Crust remake, which there are quite a few elements from that script that are in Street Meets Pavement. A lot of the scripts that I didn't get to make kind of recycled themselves into Street Meets Pavement. Just a little fun fact.
Nice. I can't wait.
So I write Thick Crust, and I bring the scripts to my birthday party, which is at Patrick's house. So it's my birthday, and I bring in Thick Crust for people to have and kind of read to kind of get an idea. And Patrick had read this before, like maybe a week before or whenever I got done with it. And then at my birthday party, Mac's like, oh, I also wrote a Thick Crust remake. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on here? What is this all about? So that happened, and the rest of my birthday happened, and then like the next day, like I'm talking to Patrick, and he's like, you know what? I didn't really like your script, so I told Mac to do it. And I was like, well, why didn't you just tell me that instead of like kind of throwing this on me, like like a going behind my back kind of situation, and it just really just pissed me off so much, and from there I was just like, you know what, this is stupid, and I basically told Mac and Patrick that I didn't want to be friends anymore, and give me my stuff back that you have, and you can come get your stuff, like breaking up essentially, because we had been like babysitting Mac's cat.
Yeah.
And we're like, just come and get it. I don't really want to have anything to do with you guys right now. And, that was when we stopped being friends with them. And then that same day, after I got into that huge argument with both of them, they left. And then, like an hour later, Casey and Allie called up. It's like, hey guys, you want to hang out? We're on our way home. Let's hang out. And it's like, that was the contrast. Casey and Allie were the good friends, and they came over and we had an awesome time. Whatever we did, just bullshitting or whatever, and it's weird how things happen like that in life, to where you kind of have like these shitty relationships, and you've got that good relationship to counteract it and just make you realize that not everything is shitty in life. That there are things worth living for, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that is so true is that like we couldn't really appreciate Casey and Allie until we kind of saw the negative relationships in their lives, and then and then there they were, and it was just like such a perfect fit at the time for us.
Yeah.
And somewhere in here, they got engaged, right?
No.
No. Okay.
When
was that?
It's all coming up. I don't remember when they got engaged, but yeah. So like at the breakup of Casey and Allie with TJ and Molly, and the breakup of you and me with Mac and Patrick, we got together with Casey and Allie. So we were always doing stuff, going to the movies together or playing tennis together, just hanging out, and as the fall started happening, we all were kind of in the marriage mood. I don't remember when they got engaged or how it happened, but
I remember how it happened. I think he took her to a movie, and then they were on the river walk, so they were walking along the river, and he had Sam start playing the guitar, and he was like on the other side of the river. He was some ways away, and he was starting to play the guitar their song, the Foo Fighters song. And then I think he got down on one knee and started singing to her and then proposed. I think that's how it happened.
Okay.
You remember?
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember it pretty vividly.
Well, I remember Casey and Allie. They knew they were going to get married, so it was just a matter of him popping the question.
Yeah.
But it's not even that big of a deal if you're already discussing it. It's like, oh, we're going to get married. We need to start planning for it. And it's like, well, do you even need to bother with the question then at that point? Because I remember at their wedding, and fucking David was the best man, and his little speech was like, oh, yeah, Casey talked to me. He's like, oh, I met the girl that I'm going to marry, or whatever he said. I just need to ask her, or something like that. And it's like...
He said, hey, David, I'm getting married. She just doesn't know it yet, or something.
No, I just haven't asked her yet.
I just haven't asked her.
And like, he says it like that, but it's out of context because it just wasn't official, because they had been talking about getting married. He told the story as if it was, a silly, quirky moment that it tells you about Casey, but that's not what it was at all.
Right.
And it just kind of pissed me off. I'm like, this guy's the best man? We're hanging out with them all the fucking time. We planned our weddings together.
That's 08.
That's 08. So... as the fall's coming up in 2007 and the winter, basically it's the four of us, and we're doing everything together. Casey and Allie are coming over to work out, and you know what? I skipped some stuff. So we did end up finding the comic book shop probably in the spring.
Okay.
We went to Pizza Plus. We were going to Pizza Plus a lot on Fridays to the pizza buffet. And we were leaving it one time, and it's like, it says comics up there on that sign. And we went in, and there were comics everywhere, and from then on, we were going to that comic book shop like every fucking week or every other week whenever I got paid, and it's just became the hangout eventually.
Yeah.
So we were going there and getting comic books whenever, I wanted comics. But then that fall, he's like, oh, hey, I got these HeroClix in. You can have a brick for $80. It's like, I don't know, we'll just take a couple. And then, like, we went to the movies, and then on the way home, you're like, we should go get that brick.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go get it. So
I gave you permission, because I felt like I was like, fuck it, man, let's just go fucking do it.
So the next day, we went back, and we're like, we're going to get that brick now. And from there... me and Casey started trying to play and learning how to play, and we were always doing 1,000-point games, and we were playing all night while you and Allie fell asleep on the couches.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there bullshitting, and we really, all four of us really, really bonded together. Yeah. And that's what led to our breakup in 2008.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So
Casey and Allie, they were coming over all the time to work out, and I was getting in awesome shape. I was losing ridiculous amounts of weight, and no one could figure out what it was. And all I had changed, the only thing I had changed was What's that?
Diet and exercise.
Diet and exercise. But there was that, the getting my wisdom teeth out, that's kind of what started it, because I stopped eating. But then, I was just exercising and eating not a whole lot at work, but then eating whatever the fuck we wanted. At night, we were still eating like pizza and burgers and stuff like that.
Chinese food.
So I got in probably the best shape I've ever been in during that.
Yes, definitely. We all did. Well, I don't know about them, but like, or myself even. Maybe I was losing some weight, but I know you were losing a lot of weight, and
Yeah.
it's that strict discipline that you gotta put yourself on to do anything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just hanging out all the time, and like, so I guess October came up and Halloween came up, and Halloween was the dinner mystery at TJ and Molly's place, which was really
Right.
Molly's mom's place.
Yeah.
And I was Lobo, Melissa was Eclipso, Casey was one of the Slipknot guys, and Allie was like a witch or something.
Okay.
She had a white face.
When was the 50s dinner mystery? Is that coming up?
That was the year before.
Okay.
There was two.
There was two.
Because there was the one where I was the mummy and you were a witch, right?
Yep. No. I was a 50s chick.
No, there was two. So in 2005 we did one, and that was when Allie was still with Mike, and I was a mummy.
And I was a gypsy,
you were a gypsy. That's what you were. A gypsy conjurer, seer,
teller,
fortune
girl,
teller thing. Yeah. So that was 2005. I don't know when the 50s one was. That might not even have been Halloween.
Huh.
That might have been earlier in the year, or maybe that was 2006. That was probably 2006. That was 2006. So we did that one in 2006. We did the monster one in 2005. And this year they did and that 2007 they had done a whole different one that was different than those ones. This one was like you could win money and prizes, and it wasn't real money though. It was like the fake Monopoly money.
Yeah.
And they had their weird fucking like college professor friends there. And I hated those guys. I hated those guys with a fucking passion.
Yeah, I know I remember who you're talking about. Those were douchebags.
It was like, I could remember their names. The one was Chris and Candace, or Mike and Candace. And then the other one was Chris. Right? Was it Mike? It was Mike? I don't remember the dude's name, but I think it was Mike, and Candace was his wife or girlfriend, and then the other dude was Chris. That guy creeped me out. I think he was trying to screw everybody, but I'm not sure. I got that feeling.
I thought he was trying to screw Molly, specifically.
Oh, no, that was Steve.
Oh, yeah.
That new kid Steve who's always got a trick up his sleeve. Like, I remember we had, I don't remember what party it was, but TJ and Molly were always having parties. And this Steve guy, there's talking about, like, Allie and Molly getting an apartment with that dude and being roommates. And I thought right away, I was like, really? Because both of them have boyfriends. And they're going to have a roommate that's a dude when they could easily just move in with their own boyfriends? That's sketchy. And I think it turned out being like, that was the thing. And then there was also Joe.
Yeah.
Joe had the hots for Molly.
And Joe looked like Keanu Reeves.
Yes, he did look like Keanu Reeves. And that was the big joke between Mac and Patrick, because they knew him in high school, and he was always doing the Matrix thing. And, like, there was this time at Denny's where they were telling jokes, and I laughed at it when they came back to our place and told it, and I laughed really, really hard. And this was the night before the bar stuff. Yeah, no, I laughed at that joke. And then
are you not going to tell the joke?
I'm not going to tell the joke. It's an off-color joke. Okay. but I thought it was funny. And no one else did, so I was like, Oh yeah, no, that is a fucked up joke. You're right. Tried to play it off, and when I told it the next day when we were filming at the bar scene, Corey fucking laughed his ass off too. So I'm not the only one. And but yeah, no, Joe I guess had wrote this letter to Molly professing his love for her and telling her that she was making a mistake by being with TJ and he was the wrong person to be with, and then he took off and joined the Air Force or something.
It's so romantic.
Yeah, I know, right? So that was through Halloween. That was the big Halloween party. We also, like, every year we try and get like we get like 10 pumpkins and try to do a bunch of them. And that year I think we just hung around and handed out candy. I don't know.
Yeah, we did do a bunch of pumpkins that year, though. I remember we took pictures.
Yeah, we got a bunch of pictures of pumpkins.
Yeah.
We did them pretty much every year. Yeah.
And TJ did a really fucking awesome one.
That was in 2005.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Because yeah, TJ did the Flyboy from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was, and it's like, how did you do that? He did it all from memory too, because I didn't have Dawn of the Dead at the time for him to look at, or the internet to bring it up, and no one had internet on their phones at that period in time.
Right.
So that was Halloween. I think we just hung out and passed out candy. I really don't remember the actual day. Yeah, no, we handed out candy. Melissa did a pumpkin that said like candy and had an arrow pointing up the stairs.
Oh, and is that when like I hung the candy on the stairs?
Yes.
And then some of that candy stayed for like months after
through
Halloween.
Snow and through rain. And then that year for Thanksgiving, that year, that was the Thanksgiving that we had at Allie's house, where they had it was just her dad and her dad's friend, her and her sister Casey, and then the two of us. And her dad's friend was like getting drunk, and he said grace, and he's like, I'm thankful for all the pussy that I get. And we were just like, what the fuck is this douchebag doing here? Fuck this guy.
He was such an asshole. He was such a douchebag, and it was so inappropriate. But the great part is, it was like, when people talk about the Thanksgivings that are inappropriate because a certain family member is there, that's what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And it's like because we got to experience that.
Exactly. And also at that point, me and Casey started learning how to play HeroClix, and we were going to the comic book shop and playing with Tom, or Tom and his kids.
So who's Tom?
So Tom is this guy that we met at the comic book shop, and he's like the local comic guru guy. And he's just a really cool guy. Like, he's an older dude, like 40 or something, 40 plus. But he's, easy to talk with. We talk to him all the time, and that was the thing when we started playing HeroClix, was it was more about just being with friends and having good conversations. And we happened to be playing HeroClix at the same time, but it was more about just hanging out.
More. And we would, like, with Tom specifically, we would get into moments where we would just stop the game completely, and we would just be talking. And then we would, like, try to go back to the game. We couldn't remember whose turn it was. We couldn't remember what the fuck we were doing.
Exactly.
But it was great. We were just fucking talking. And Tom was huge into music.
Yes.
So he was a big music guy, and he had contributed to the first Queen comic books back in the day. So he was actually he was a writer, or was he an artist?
He was a writer, but I think he mostly just edited and kind of contributed to the edits with his writing.
Okay.
And we were like, whoa, you're a writer? Because me and Casey were playing, and John's like, John, who's the comic book shop guy, was like, he wrote comic books, right? And we're like, whoa, what? I have his Queen comic book, so.
That's amazing. So that was Tom, and then he had two boys. Gosh, I wonder, how old are his boys now?
What? Probably 14, 15.
Oh my god. Wonder if they're little shits.
Probably.
It'd be interesting to look him up on Facebook. What was his last name? Do you remember?
Oh, he is on there. Tom Potts.
Yeah.
I think I've tried, and didn't get anything back. John just friended me, so.
Suzette sent me a message and I haven't responded to her.
What did she say?
She was asking about my name change on Facebook, and she was like, "Why did you guys divorce? Is it because you couldn't handle it in Denver?" And I was just like,
Oh, did she even know?
go in.
So you must have been talking to her before then too, because I didn't know
No.
she was aware. Oh, then.
She just saw my change in location on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I've been curious of what's going on with those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we should hit them up and find out.
But yeah, no. So we were playing. It was mostly just me and Casey, playing HeroClix, and then Melissa came in, and she got into it pretty big, but Allie never really did, and that kind of became a problem because the three of us could play, and then Allie was kind of the odd man out. So Melissa was kind of forced not to play so that she can babysit Allie, which kind of became one of the stigmas in our relationship. That was probably the first stigma in our relationship, is that Allie wasn't necessarily open to everything like Melissa was. So, and
Well, and I've always been like one of the guys, like that's just always been me. And so she wanted to sit around and talk and do makeup and things that like I didn't have a lot of interest in. I wanted to be playing HeroClix. I wanted to be watching movies and talking about dude things and like, and then it was tough for me because then it's like, I know you guys are over there fucking having an epic game and I'm over here doing nothing,
Yeah.
So, so we're at the comic book shop playing HeroClix with Tom and the kids.
Yeah, so that fall, it was mostly just me and Casey that would go and play with Tom or Tom and the kids before you started really getting into it.
Yeah.
You would play at home some, but that was what our Saturdays were. You two would go off and do something together or either separately, and then we'd meet up again after 3 or 4 hours, and then we'd go out to eat or catch a movie and go out to eat or go shopping, because we were really kind of getting into wedding time and going to Costco and stuff, and eventually it got to the point where we went to a wedding expo at the event center.
Oh my gosh. What month was that? Is that November?
October or November.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was in the fall.
It was in the fall. It wasn't snowing or anything. The weather was just starting to get shitty, but we went to that, and as we're getting ready to close in on this podcast because we're over an hour, so I'd like to start wrapping this up. Good thing we're at the end of the year, but a lot happens at the end of the year. So we went to the wedding expo, the 4 of us. Right as soon as we get into the door, I see Tessa, who is someone I went to high school with, and she's like, "Oh, we're doing this contest. You want to do it?" So me and Casey went in there, and it was a cake eating contest. So the groom-to-be had to eat the cake, and there must have been 10 couples.
Find the ring in the cake, right?
No. There must have been 10 couples there, and it was a big piece of cake, and you couldn't use your hands. So I scarfed that thing down so fast, and afterwards I got like this diabetic dizziness afterwards. I felt so weird, and I won. And so what I won was a $300 certificate to get a ring. So I didn't have to worry about getting my wedding ring. And then Casey got second, and I think he got a certificate for something also. And
and part of how we got that, I think I remember, was they had him dance. And so...
Well, hold on, I'm not there yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, he won second at the cake eating contest, and he won something too, and I don't remember what he won. But the funny thing is all the other couples, the grooms were like, "Oh, I'm diabetic. Can the bride-to-be do it?" And then others were like, "I don't really want to eat it. I don't really feel like getting this shit all over my face." And it's like, I didn't even have to fucking try then to fucking win. But I did, and I won.
You killed it.
And then we went into the expo area, and we signed up for every fucking thing underneath the sun. And then there was the contest, another contest for Casey to win someone to win a ring, a wedding ring also, and the wedding ring was hidden in the cake. And so what it was is there's 3 guys. So and then the way they chose the 3 guys was, let's get all the grooms to be up on the stage, and they all started kind of dancing and doing their thing. And there's a bunch of like, you know, skinny hunk, you know, looking dudes, bros, and
Yeah.
they're all fucking unbuttoning their shirts and, you know, swinging it around and doing everything, and everyone's cheering on. And Casey's kind of off to the side by himself, just kind of pretending to go along with it. He's unbuttoning his shirt a little bit, but he's just got a t-shirt on underneath, and he's just like
Yeah.
not really into it. And so at the end, you know, they do the thing where the guy puts his hand over each person and people cheer for who they want the most. And we, the 3 of us, you, me, and Allie, because we know how to project our voices, because we were in theater, we were able to, just the 3 of us, get Casey to be the other guy in that contest. Nobody cheered for him except for the 3 of us, and because we fucking are awesome with our, you know, our projecting, because we're from the stage, we got him in there. And you know, once the guys started getting in there and looking through the cake, the dudes would just grab a chunk and throw it to the side. So they got the cake off of the table without finding the ring. So they had to go on the floor and start looking for the ring and the chunks that they tossed aside, and Casey won it. So we fucking walked away from that expo winning 2 rings, and I think Casey got like half off of a tux or something like that.
And also, we did a thing where we had to dress each other up in toilet paper and make wedding dresses. That's what me and Allie did. And then I got a gift certificate for a wedding dress for that.
Yes, and we also won. You won a manicure, a facial.
Yeah.
And Allie won a haircut. And Allie had said, I hope I don't win a haircut from them, because the people that did it had like these like mohawks and shit, right? Something like that. And then from there, it started to get really bad outside in the snow, and it just started getting cold, and we started getting into Christmas moods, and you know, we were doing Christmas shoppings together. So like me and Casey would go Christmas shopping, and you and Allie would go Christmas shopping, and we were just kind of sitting at home with, you know, the 4 of us watching movies and eating warm food and just trying to keep warm. We watched Waitress.
Oh, that's a great movie.
With Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
And we were just doing, you know, the Christmas thing, and we also got Guitar Hero 3 after the Halloween party at midnight at GameStop.
Yeah.
And so Christmas that year, 2006.
Wait, what did we do for Thanksgiving? Oh, we already covered that.
Yeah, we covered Thanksgiving. But Christmas of 2006. 2007. Oh, that's right. This was where the friendship fizzled. Melissa got the great idea that, you know, Allie really wanted this ornament that has their names on it.
Okay, I got this idea because we were all in the mall together, and they stopped and they were gonna get it. They were like, oh, first Christmas, and then they didn't. For one reason or another, they didn't get the ornament. So I was like, that would be a great gift.
And so that's all that we got them. They show up on Christmas Eve to give us our presents. Allie got Melissa a crock pot, and Casey got me HeroClix and new dice. And
we gave them
a tiny ornament. And we were just like, you know what, your gifts are in the mail, they're not here yet. So we went out the next day and got them books at Barnes & Noble, a Wicked book and a Moon Knight, Essential Moon Knight Volume 1 book, and gave them to them. And that was pretty much the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
They never
They
were
could feel it. They were like,
yeah, they were never as warm to us anymore from that point on. And it all culminated.
That's the message about the friendship, isn't it? Is that they were kind of materialistic, and they were kind of wrapped up in petty shit, you know, because of all the good times we had together, all the amazing, you know, time that we spent together. A couple of fucking gifts on Christmas, that's what it's all about? Seriously?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, and then it gets even worse next year, and we'll get into that on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So from there, it goes into New Year's
Wednesday,
Eve.
I'm gonna be in New Mexico on Wednesday.
Oh, you are? So we can't podcast on Wednesday.
We could do it late night. I could bring my laptop and we could do it. I could do it from the hotel.
Well, maybe I'll get someone else in here, Melissa.
Yikes!
Add
Ouch.
some variety
Right.
to this fucking thing.
Right.
And it's probably like 10 o'clock for you, right? Almost. Yeah, I don't remember what we did for New Year's Eve that day.
When did we spend New Year's? Oh, never mind. That would be the next game. What did we do for New Year's?
Casey and Allie? Did we go out? Did we do anything?
I don't remember.
God, you know what? I really hate New Year's Eve and I hate July 4th.
Yeah.
Those are my two least favorite holidays because they always feel fucking forced.
Yeah, they do. New Year's especially, I feel like. New Year's especially is like, what are you doing for New Year's? It's like, who fucking cares? Because what do you do for New Year's? You sit around, you look at the TV, you watch a fucking ball drop, you scream Happy New Year's, and then it was all for naught.
Yeah.
Then you go fucking go to bed. Did they come over and they just spent New Year's at our place?
Oh, you know what? We might have gotten drunk that night. We might have had some like pink champagne and we put it into the what's that red mix? Not margarita, daiquiri mix.
Daiquiri.
We might have done that. I know at one point we went to because we were going to Western Village a lot.
Yeah.
Together. I don't remember if this was before the end of the year or after into 2008, but we were going there a lot, and we would come back and just hang out a lot. So honestly, I don't remember what we did New Year's that year. So that is the year 2007 for Matt and Melissa.
An anticlimactic end.
I fucking vaguely remember New Year's, and I honestly don't even remember last year's New Year's. I know what I did last year's New Year's. I watched Soylent Green by myself.
2012 is going to be a tough year to talk about.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even do that on New Year's. I did that on December 21st or 3rd or whenever the last day of the world was supposed to be. That's when I watched Soylent Green. I don't remember what I did on New Year's last year, so fuck me. So, yeah. So, we'll see you all in 2008 the next time we get together and podcast, whether it's Wednesday or not. So, thanks for listening, guys. And
thank you so much for listening, Kelly.
We didn't even talk to her this episode, did we? Or this part?
No, we can talk to her a little bit right now. How did you like the episode, Kelly? What did you think?
Leave comments. Leave plenty of comments on the YouTube page. Give me lots of likes. Fuck you, Kelly. We don't need to talk about you.
No, what? That's rude.
I'm rude.
I know this.
Yes, so Kelly, I
The
hope you
picture
enjoyed
you
that
have
episode.
up here for Skype is this one from Prime America.
It is.
An epic photo shoot.
That was an epic photo shoot. We got a movie poster out of it.
Dude, man, some of the photos we got some really good photos from Dread and Terror too. The ones that I took of Patrick.
That's Thick Crust.
Was that from Thick Crust?
Yeah, where he's
Okay.
like on the couch laying sexily, or
Yeah.
has the
With
Playboy
the Coke.
with the
And
Coke.
the booze. And
That's
the
all
porn in
from
front
Thick.
of him.
That's all from Thick Crust.
Okay, well, that was awesome too, but I think Prime America, crazy enough, that was the best like photo shoot we've done. I got some amazing pictures, and that was with the Kodak, I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
What's
yeah.
Kodak?
What is Kodak?
The world we
He
live
died
in.
a long.
All right. Well, Melissa, thanks for podcasting with me
You're so welcome. I had a great time, as always.
as always, and I hope you enjoy your new life, you fucking bitch.
That will be the end of the last podcast that we do. So let's hold on if we still want to go through the years.
I'm gonna do it every fucking year.
We're not even married yet.
We're not married now. All right. Well, I'm Matthew Bonta,
I'm Melissa Hoffman.
and stay classy, Reno.